What's up, YouTube? I'm Ben the Lawn Guardian. I just wanted to give you guys a quick lawn update and what I've been working with and dealing with over the last month and a half to 2 months. So we'll start from the beginning. Back in early May, mid-May, St. Louis was getting starting to get a lot of heat and rain, and that comes humidity, and that was just a perfect recipe for fungus to start growing in the lawn. It was really slow. It wasn't acting like your normal, or what I was researching, which was brown patch and dollar spot. It wasn't looking like anything like that. So I reached out to the great lawn care community, Matt Martin. I'll put a link to his channel below. If you guys aren't following him, be sure to do that. He's a great guy. Responds to emails really fast, and is just willing to help people. But he helped me identify that I had gray leaf spot in the lawn. So I was using propiconazole to treat that, and I think that's pretty much knocked it out. I think the lawn's recovered fairly well from that, and it doesn't seem to be dealing with that anymore. There's a few spots that are really just more dealing with some heat stress issues, but I think I've been doing well managing that as well. Some other things I've done to apply, that I've applied to the lawn, is my insecticide, which is the Bayer Advanced Complete Insect Killer, something like that. Done an application of Milorganite, and I just within the last week did my first in summer application of Ringer Lawn Restore. I've never used it. I liked using it. It seems to be doing really well with the lawn. I've noticed some improvements in the color. The color was already pretty good from just the Milorganite and things I've been doing to it, but I definitely can tell that the Ringer has been helping. Thanks for that recommendation, Alan. Let's see. Other than that, it's really just been watering. Water. I think I really upped my game on getting the water down and coverage really well on the entire lawn. I'll show you the sprinklers I've been using, but before we get to that, let's just go through the lawn. Okay, so the front lawn, this is what we're working with. Oh, by the way, my wife and I planted these petunias, wave petunias, and they filled in this area super nice. Gotta love the quality time with the wife and just making the house look beautiful. But anyway, here's the front lawn. The color's good. Needs probably a cut here in a couple days. But overall, it's doing pretty well. And weeds are pretty minimal. I haven't really noticed much crabgrass. If I notice anything, it'll just be right along these edges, and I can just easily pull it out. But this has been really good. The only area that's had most of the heat stress has been right along here, and that's just because you're getting the heat from the street and the sidewalk, and it just dries that out a lot quicker. This spot down here, I'm gonna have to do a lot of work with in the fall. Last year in the fall, when I did a lot of work, I didn't have time to really improve the soil conditions here. But there was a lot of gravel and rock in this area, and I just did my best to make it work. But in the fall, what I'm going to do is just clear all this out, take out the gravel, and just improve that soil so the roots can really dig down deep. Because that's why this is drying out so quick, is because the root system for this grass is very shallow, and it's difficult for it to go real deep like the rest of the lawn. So that'll be part of my fall work. So let's take a look on over at the Frankenstein lawn. It's been doing really well. The Bermuda's filling in. There's just a few more spots that the Bermuda has to fill in, but overall it's been doing really well. So as you can see, the cool season's grass looks really good. And then that cool season grass ends right here. You can kind of see that defined line, and this is all Bermuda right here. The section in between the street and the sidewalk has filled in for the most part. The only spot that hasn't filled in is this spot behind the mailbox, but you can see those runners just starting to fill that area in. And then the only sections that the Bermuda hasn't filled in, but yeah, it is this spot right here. But again, you can see those runners just shooting along, and that'll be covered within the next month or so. And this spot I think is going to take a little bit longer to fill in with the Bermuda, just because of the Bradford pear that's right here and how much shade it gets. But that's, there's runners going in this area. But again, since it's not always getting a ton of direct sunlight like all this is, it's just going to take a little bit longer. So that's the Frankenstein lawn in the side and the front yard. But I just want to show you guys the height difference here of how much higher this is versus this. I'm cutting this Bermuda at about 1.5 to 2 inches, and over here is 4 inches. So it's kind of cool when it gets a fresh cut. It looks kind of like a step, but I like it. My wife told me you should fade it into it, but I was like, no, I like the giant transition. But anyway, let's go back to the backyard and I'll give you guys a quick update back there. All right, so I know I had told you guys back when I first started this channel that I was mowing my whole lawn at 4 inches, including the back. But I've since moved the backyard down to 3.5 inches because when we started to get all that fungus, the backyard was also, the grass was getting really matted down. Ryan Knorr did a video on that. He was having some of the same issues. I'll link a description to his channel as well. He's an awesome dude. Also is really helpful. Will respond to emails and responds very quickly. It's just really cool. He's got great content, great guy. But anyway, check his channel out. So what I did is I dropped this down to 3.5 inches, and since I've done that, it's improved a lot of the matting down issues and fungus issues, and it just has been allowing the grass to breathe a little bit more since it's a little bit shorter. But I won't go any lower than 3.5 inches because I think it's been doing very well with that. So aside from that, here's what the backyard's looking like. There's some weeds sporadically back here, but overall I'd say in my complete lawn, front and back, I've gotten rid of at least 80 to 90% of the weeds. You can see a little creeping Charlie, some dandelion stuff, and then there's some I forget the name of the other weed that's back here, but I'll do some spot spraying in the fall. I'm not really worried about it right now. I don't want to add more stress to the grass at this point. I just want to let it do its thing and just, you know, stay as healthy as I can and decrease, like I said, just decrease as much of that stress as I can right now with any sort of herbicide, and just keep mowing and watering, getting those good practices down that way. So I'll show you what I use for my fungus control for the gray leaf spot. This can also be used for brown patch and dollar spot as well. And you can get this has the active ingredient of propiconazole. You can find this at your Lowe's or Home Depot. It's pretty expensive. It's 20 bucks. It supposedly covers 5,000 square feet, but I call baloney on that because it barely covers my whole yard, and my whole yard is around 3,700 square feet. But that's what I did. If you're, it works as a curative, but if you're using it as a curative, you have to apply it once, and then the next application should be 2 weeks after that, and you keep doing it every 2 weeks until you notice the disease issue going away. While you have a disease like fungus, you want to make sure you're bagging the clippings, because that's going to help control the spread of that disease as well. So what I'm using for my irrigation are 2 Nelson impact sprinklers. I got mine at Menards. Here's what we're working with right here. This guy right here used to be a spike sprinkler, but the spike was bending, and it was just kind of difficult to put it in the right spot all the time because of either it's hitting a rock or a root or something like that. So I like the ones with the bases, because you can angle it any way you can to help get different awkwardly shaped lawns. And then this is the one, like a newer model. They were just selling it without the spike, and that comes on a base. The base for this one is just something I made from the materials I had at my house. So I really like these sprinklers. I think they do a tremendous job at getting good even coverage and getting a lot of water out at a time. I used to just have one, but I got 2. When I got 2, that cut my watering time in half. So if you don't have an irrigation system in your lawn, I would recommend getting 2 if you can, just because it just makes watering a lot quicker and easier. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys liked today's video. Like I said in my previous video, I still will be making content, but it's just going to be a little bit slower. I still really enjoy doing this, but keep in touch with me through YouTube and through Twitter. Send me some emails if you have any questions. But I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And I'm Ben the Lawn Guardian, and I'll see you next time. Alright guys, it's time to get to work. Thanks for watching. But before you get to work, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and then get to dominating your neighbors.